Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And today, it's going to be the grand final Best of 7 series for IEM Katowice for StarCraft 2 between Oliveira and Maru. Should be an incredible series if you haven't already seen it. And if you're waiting for the Falcon Paladin cast, thank you very much. Game 1 here is on Dragon Scales. Top left, we have Oliveira. And on the bottom right, it is Maru, a multiple-time GSL champion, but he has never won a world championship from the WCS or ESL series. Maybe that will change today. Maru fans are up on their feet cheering for their hero Maru. Oliveira, if you don't recognize the name, it is Time from China. I've cast a lot of Time games in my history of casting StarCraft 2. He always gives the elite players a lot of trouble, right? It's of a TVZ versus Cyril. You can take him into 30-minute game, 35-minute game, dropping all over the place, Widow Mines all over the place, but he just didn't have enough to get over the hump and be considered elite. But by getting to this final for IEM Katowice, he proved it. He proved that he is elite now. He took down, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he took down several elite players to get here. But that's what you have to do. You have to take down elite players one after another to get to an ESL finals, especially IEM Katowice. Alrighty then. So, TVT finals. The Zerg Cabal is in shambles. We did all that. We did all that messing around with the balance patch, only to have a TVT finals. What do we have to do? Anyway, we got a Reaper versus a Reaper opening here. Very, very standard here on TVT. This Reaper's name is going to be... Come here, guy. It's going to be Fritz. He was the champion of tag in his school, thus earning him a full paid scholarship to the Reaper program, where he always runs away on time until he dies at some point in the game. On the other side, this Reaper from Maru is going to be Forgot the Adrenals. This #1 best-selling punk rock band had it all until they released a song with biting lyrics denouncing the authoritarianism of Emperor Next Dominion. The members of the band were quickly shoved into this Reaper suit, and here they are now. All right, so Forgot the Adrenals versus Fritz. Additional Reapers are being produced here. TVT. It's such a wonderful, weird opening, right? The first 5 to 10 minutes of a TVT, you don't know exactly what to expect. You could see any number of Terran units here. Nothing's really off the board except for, I'd say, battle cruisers. And, I don't know, sometimes we see Thors. I was going to say a Thor, but sometimes that pops out. We see Liberators, Hellions, Hellbats, Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, Widow Mines, Reapers. I mean, what else do you want here? Vikings come into play. Sometimes we get Banshees in the mix. It's a ton of fun. Early game TVT is a blast. Both players, I don't know if we're going to name the Reapers if you're just going to sit here defending. I get it. You're in a TVT, so it's 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions here versus 3 Reapers and a Hellion here. That one extra Hellion can make a big difference, but Maru's defending. So there's no defense required here. Oliveira waiting to see if a Reaper's going to hop up here, but both players just kind of hanging out on their sides of the map. I keep calling him Oliveira, but it's Oliveira, I think is how we pronounce this. Oliveira. My brain is going to have trouble with this. Because, again, he just recently changed his name from Time. He's representing China, the first Chinese player ever to make it to the grand finals of the World Championship in StarCraft 2. And, I mean, the first Chinese player to do it for Brood War as well, because I'm not sure that's ever happened either. So, representing his country very proudly, very bravely, here is Oliveira. To this point, he's done more than he's ever done before. And to take a couple maps here off Maru would be astounding. But you know what? Are we just going to give this series to Maru? No. Why would we do that? We need to play every game. It turns out to be a Maru 4-0 sweep, so be it. But I think Oliveira is going to give him everything he can. Look at this. He was waiting for it. Cyclone. Nope. Breaks the lock on. Maru's busting in. Oh, God. A siege tank pops up, too. Pretty scary stuff. Siege tank pops out for Oliveira just at the nick of time here. Immediately sieges it up. Maru trying to set up a different position. Auto turret gets focused down immediately. Cyclone wants to kill the siege tank, but no, gets target fired by the siege tank. tank getting focused by Reapers and Hellions and Siege Tanks, and Oliveira looks like he's in a tough position here. Maru is strong, 28-13 total supply. Second Raven popping out for Oliveira, gets an auto turret down immediately, focuses down the Siege Tank, huge play! Huge moment there. A Siege Tank supported by these Reapers and Hellions are a lot scarier than just Reapers and Hellions. It is 19-13 workers, 38-29 workers, or army supply. The other one is, oh my gosh, did he just hold this? 13-19 army supply in favor of Maru, 39-30 worker count in favor of Maru. Trying to drop in here just with what he's got. He doesn't really have reinforcements. He does have some reinforcing Marines coming up here too. 4, 5 more SCVs died. These guys might just walk up at the front door. There's nothing to stop them from doing that. And GG, Maru takes game number 1. All right, so that's what we're here for, right? Maru's going to look like a monster. Early game TVT can really turn on a dime there. Maru takes the 1-0 lead in this best of 7. Okay, that was intense. If that's what we're in store for this series, it's going to be crazy. Resources lost, 2,100 for Oliveira, 1,100 for Maru, and that's just it right there. 15 SCVs died for Oliveira, lost a Siege Tank, lost a Cyclone, lost 7 Marines. On the other side, yeah, 1 tank died, 7 Marines died, but his workers never died at all, and that's going to be a big deal. He's even getting a 3rd base behind this. So Oliveira needs to calm down, needs to settle a little bit, and then we'll see what he's got up his sleeve for game number 2 right now. Game 2 of the best of 7 is here on Grevsan. Bottom right, going to be Oliveira. And in the top left, Maru. I think I'm just going to call him Olive until I get the handle on pronouncing his new name. Oliveira? Oliveira? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he's a Chinese player, so I'm not entirely sure any English-speaking person knows how to pronounce it correctly at this point. Anyway, this is a proxy here from Maru, or maybe just scouting. Let's see if he throws up a barracks at the top of his ramp here with this SCV. And nope, we've already got a barracks coming up and a second barracks as well. So it's a 2 proxy racks here. Maru wants to shut the door on Olive's chances here in the best of 7 finals of the World Championship for StarCraft 2. 30-minute Maru is trying to go up 2-0 very, very fast here. So, Olive, just, you know, 2 gas opening with a barracks, just standard TVT stuff here. And are we taking gas from Maru? Yes, we are. So, Proxy Reapers, or maybe Proxy Marauders in a TVT. That would be interesting. And this is Grevsan. Anything crazy about it? No Zelnaga watchtowers. Okay. We don't have any... Nope, we don't have any high-yield mineral patches here either. And what looks like rocks you can't build on, but you can totally build on these. So I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, Reaper. So we're going to be Reaper 1, Reaper 2. Let's rock. We're going to name this Reaper. I didn't finish the Reaper name from the last game, unfortunately. So the members of the band were quickly arrested and sentenced to serve time in the Reaper program, but not before their song went platinum, topping even their previous top release, Terrazinian Rhapsody. It's a good one. So forgot the adrenals here. So Reaper 1, Reaper 2. Reaper 1 going in by himself is not going to do a whole lot. Double Reapers on the way from Olive here too, though. And a factory coming in. So going to have 2 Reapers to deal with the first 2 Reapers, which is nice. I mean, are you going to have them, though? Because it's going to take a second. Gonna take a second. They hop on in. Oh, killing the SCV, building the factory. The factory just barely finishes before the SCV dies. That was massive. That was so big. SCVs are just trying to chase the Reapers away so they don't all die, but 3 down. 1 Reaper pops out, starts hacking away, but can't fight 2. 3 Reapers have come in here. SCVs, they recognize this is a proxy. This is an all-in out of Maru, so we just got to stay alive here. We're making 2 more Reapers. Reduction is 2 Reapers to 2 Reapers. A Hellion pops out from Oliveira. That's going to be huge. Oliveira, humongous. Getting a Reaper in here. That splash damage. Bonus versus light, which is what Reapers are. That's massive. Okay, man, if those Reapers could have come in and killed the SCV building that factory and this Hellion couldn't have popped out, that would have been humongous. Oliveira trying to get a second base up. Oh, wasn't protecting the SCV building that second base, unfortunately, as Oliveira was trying to defend the, this hop-up spot in his own main base. Still making Reapers here. Got ourselves a Leo down as well. Haven't seen those in a while. Here's our engagement, though. Again, the Hellion is massively important. KD8 charges getting knocked down. Ooh, taking hits from the KD8 charges. Hellions have a little bit more HP here. They don't really worry about taking KD8 charge damage. It's not going to kill them incredibly fast. But second base for Oliveira going to pop up earlier than Maru's is. It is in 24 to 19 workers. Maru is up, but Olive is now able to make SCVs on 2 bases or get a second orbital up way faster than Maru is. So yeah, I mean, Maru's second base isn't even 50% complete right now. He is making a starport behind it. We might see some Raven play. This is looking, you know, fairly normal from Olive's side right now. We've got Reapers, we've got Hellions. Pretty normal stuff, y'all. This is how we do. If you don't have Reapers and Hellions against your enemies, Reapers and Hellions, you just die in a TVT. But from here, you can kind of put your own stamp on it, right? There's this little window where you can make Ravens, you can make, you know, a Liberator or a Banshee. Maybe get a Cyclone out. That would be kind of weird, too, to see that. We did see it in the last game, so it's not impossible to see. Barracks from Maru scouting in sees, okay, so you're probably working on a siege tank here with this Tech Lab factory. Cool. A medevac in production. Marines happening here, too. Marines really, really good in this situation, especially if they have combat and shield and medevac support. So the Marines are going to try to burn this barracks down, or at least get it to the point where it's on fire and it will burn down itself. Or just shoo it away. Maybe they're not too interested in leaving the safety of their own main base. It is a Cyclone on the way from Maru. See what I'm talking about? We get Cyclone play. Third base from Maru. I don't know. He recognizes he's behind in economy. He recognizes that, yeah, Olive was able to catch up because his second base is happening. The barracks comes back in, and that's hilarious. That's actually really funny. And then Maru's got a drop coming on in here with all of his Reapers. A Reaper drop. What is this? This is fantastic. This is what you do when your all-in 2 racks Reaper play doesn't work. Is you drop Reapers into the main base of your opponent right in the mineral line. There's not really much to stop this from killing a bunch of SCVs. But on the other side, we're just walking into Maru's front door here. There is a siege tank, but guess who has his own siege tank too? Both players siege up their siege tanks. Cyclones are trying to fight it here. No, the tank of Maru's dies. The Reapers on the other side are fighting. They're trying to kill as many SCVs as they can. They do take down the Cyclone, but Marines keep popping out of these barracks. And you got to pick up. There's only 2 Reapers remaining, unloading them, healing them up. But the Marines will fight. This guy can't even fight. He's too far behind. On the other side, it is a siege tank from Olivia. Got 2 kills there. 2 Cyclones and a Banshee out for Maru. What did I say about all sorts of units here trying to lock down and kill that medevac? They can't quite do it. It's got 10 HP. The Banshee fighting 2. But sitting right on top of the production facilities of Maru means he can't make stuff very safely. Cyclone tries to kill the siege tank, can't do it down. GG Olive! Oliveira manages to take game 2. Oh, and an intense little 6.5-minute TVT. What did I tell you? We had Banshees, we had Cyclones, we had Marines, and we had Medevacs and Hellions. I mean, tons of Reapers, too. 24 to 27 workers, 2 base to kind of 2 base. It didn't really happen for Maru, did it? And this is maybe just greed. Like, this is maybe just Maru thinking he can get away with getting a 3rd base up. And then this happens. Right? Just wanders in. Regular old, you know, siege tank, Marine, Medevac, Hellion, Reaper timing. As you do, the only thing here are 2 Cyclones. A siege tank does pop out from Maru, but it's just not enough. He has to lift his own orbital from the natural base. He can't protect it. Look, I really think this was a problem. And plus, a ton of his army was in medics, too, which just aren't going to stand up against regular armed forces that you're going against. Snipes down the tech lab. Maru's trying to make SCVs. Does he think he's going to win this battle? Oh, maybe he was a little bit overconfident here. Look at him building SCVs. I mean, he's already lost 15 of them. He's not mining at all. Maybe he thinks he can get rid of this tank and then clean up the rest of this stuff and then win this game, but no, he loses the Cyclone, the Banshee, you know, fighting here, but wholly outnumbered, and bam. And Olive takes game 2. So important. Going down 2 games to 0 against Maru in a best of 7, it just feels incredibly, it's just demoralizing. Really scary stuff. So in this game, 3,100 resources lost from Maru, 1,900 from Olive. There we go. Both players lost a ton of workers, 21 from Olive and 16 from Maru, but pretty even at the end of the game there. Siege tank down for Maru. Olive never lost his, which is a huge thing in these early battles, these early scrappy first 5 to 7 to 8 minutes of this TVT. Awesome. So that's game 2. Can Olive keep it going? Let's find out together, shall we? So we're already 2 games into the series, but only like 11 minutes of game have been played. Super fast stuff. Bottom right here on Neo Humanity is Olive. Top left gotta be Maru, who again has won 5 GSLs and 0 World Championships. A very, very weird resume to be sure. Woof! So I guess quick look here for FalconPaladin.store. It is a merch store where you can get hats, warm winter hats. You can get hoodies, one thicker, one thinner for different weather types. You can get t-shirts out there. You can get mugs with fun stuff on it like Terry the Overlord. Good place to be, FalconPaladin.store. We'll ship anywhere on Earth, except for like North Korea. So if you're in North Korea, I don't think you can access YouTube from North Korea. Maybe you can. Sorry, we don't ship there. But every other country, I'm pretty sure we do. Even like tiny little islands in the middle of the ocean that nobody can ever name when they're naming all the countries of the world, right? Right. Check it out, FalconPaladin.store. Woof. Barracks on the way for Maru. Not proxying this time. Maru was really hoping to kill Olive in game 2 there pretty fast. But Olive went for a reactored barracks kind of blind. I don't know if he was playing the odds and figuring that Maru would try to proxy Reaper him, but he was ready for it. And again, key that he got his factory finished. Because if that factory doesn't come up and that Hellion doesn't come out, that game is very different from that point on. All right, so we're on Neo Humanity. Oh, it's one of these maps with bases in the middle of the map. That is weird stuff, man. Rich Vespine Geyser base. I mean, it is so easy to harass from back here. It's not even funny. Oof, we also have, gold mineral patches as walls leading to different expansions. It's an interesting combination of factors. I mean, gold minerals are, sometimes used, and mineral walls are more rarely used, but there's no other way to get rich mineral patches here. Intriguing. High yield mineral patches. I like it. We've also got Zelling a watchtower surrounded by lights that make it so that vision can't come in and see if there's anyone on the tower when you go in there. Just kind of tricky stuff. I like it. Neo Humanity. Interesting map to be sure. And bright. Like, I really don't like darker maps just because it's harder to, I don't know, harder to get a feel of what's going on, if that makes any sense. Anyway, Reaper comes in from Olive, a defensive position here. I don't know if we want to name Reapers if they're just going to sit at home and be babies. It's a TVT thing, right? You send out the Reaper against Zerg and against Protoss, but in TVTs, it's like, well, if I send my Reaper out and my enemy sends their Reaper out, then we're in a clown fiesta moment where both of us have a Reaper killing each other's workers and we can't defend against it. Dumb. So they just keep the Reaper at home. Starport coming in for Maru at 2:45. That's what we're talking about. Olive, if he's going for a starport, it's later. Then Maru's is. No true shame in that. And he is. He's going starport, but significantly later. I mean, this is the 50% complete starport. And that one is, kind of just starting out. So they're both doing the same build. It's just Maru is faster. Ooh, Widow Mine. First up. 3-minute mark. We got a Widow Mine on the way here from Maru. Maybe a Widow Mine drop, or maybe just to help on offense here. Bunker up from Olive at the front door. I like it. And again, everyone was so worried about getting jumped on by Reapers. Do you remember that tiny time in StarCraft history? Oh, he does hop in. He's just here to scout and probably die. And he does, but he gets a nice KD8 charge off on, SCVs, losing some mining time there, I suppose. But sees the factory, sees the starport. A Raven on the way here from Olive. Second base for Maru, up and running. Olive's is up here too. Spazzing out with a Hellion pilot. It's weird. It's kind of making me dizzy. So yeah, he's going to go for a Marine Hellion drop. Widow Mine, I guess more for defense. Where did you go, Widow Mine? Oh no, it's in here. What am I missing? Oh, I thought that second Hellion was a second Hellion. It's a Widow Mine. All right, cool. This is neat. Like I said, what's your enemy going to show up with? I don't know. Probably some Marines, but like other than that, what's normal here? Hellions? Yes. Are we ready for this drop? Not really, no. We've got 2 Marines. I don't think he saw it either. Getting right in this mineral line, dropping the Widow Mine. Beautiful pull from Olive, though. Widow Mine on burrows because there's no real good targets, but you also don't want to just lose it for nothing. So, okay, 1 SCV died. Auto turret comes down, putting out serious damage, and it gets cleaned up. SCVs killed 1, but resources lost 700 to 200. Olive, he was late to respond to that. These units didn't see what was going on, but he pulled the SCVs perfectly. He brought his Raven over, immediately tossed down a missile turret, and then handled the rest of it there. That was sick. That was a sick play. Maru getting a 3rd CC up. Are we really going to get to 3 base in this game, you guys? Is that a guarantee of some kind? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it is. I guess we'll find out together, though, won't we? They're both getting into stim. They're both, well, siege tanks are on the way from Maru. And a siege tank is down here for Olive, too, defending that natural base. We might actually get to the 10-minute mark of this game, because nobody seems interested in moving out at 5 minutes, unlike the games 1 and 2, where that totally happened. Additional barracks coming in. This 3rd base landing from Maru. 3rd base landing from Olive, though. Olive's like, I know Maru likes to go for a fast 3rd, so I can get away with a fast 3rd myself. Thank you very much. And it's already upgraded to an orbital, whereas Maru's is not. He's not going to planetary this, is it? It's got to upgrade that one. No, he's not even upgrading it. Oh, now he is. He's like, oh, I should make this to an orbital, I suppose. I wonder if he forgot. Because he starts making an SCV and then goes, this doesn't look right. And then upgrades it to an orbital. Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, that's what you're hoping for if you're Olive, right? Is that Maru makes some mistakes that you can capitalize on here. Even if you don't know that he made them. Marine count looking pretty healthy for both players. That's 21, though. Olive's almost double the Marine count here against Maru. Marine's good. Marine good unit in every matchup. They're never bad. I guess maybe against Ultralisks they're not particularly fantastic, but they can run up to siege tanks and kill them pretty easily. They're good against Cyclones. They're pretty good against Hellions, especially with Stim and Combat Shield. They're great against Banshees. They're good against Liberators. I mean, Marine good unit. Mass Marine would be pretty viable, except for the fact that then your enemy would just go mass siege tank. And you're not breaking that. What you're breaking is smaller numbers of siege tanks protected by Marines. You win the Marine battle, you stim up, you kill the 3 or 4 siege tanks. If this was like 15 siege tanks, your Marines would not be able to bust through it, even if they are awesome. Maru heading down the right side with a group of his own Marines. Olive coming up the left side with his Marines. Right side, stimming into the 3rd base of Olive. What are they going to do? SCVs, easier, more guaranteed damage. Olive says, all right, screw it. I'll kill your 3rd base too. Moves in, and Maru unsieges Interference Matrix on the siege tank. That siege is up. The other 2 tanks are not sieged now. They are. Are they going to get shots off? Yes, they're definitely getting shots off here. Siege tank down. Are there enough Marines to kill the remaining 2 siege tanks here on the other side? Marines do force a liftoff of Olive's 3rd base, and he's dropping Marines inside the main. But can he hold off against the defender's advantage of Olive here? On the other side, the natural base of Maru is under fire. This is absolutely insane. 21 and 25 workers have been killed on both sides here. Maru has to pick up. He has to drop. Maybe in this mineral line, maybe over here at the natural base of Olive to get some damage done, because there are 2, 3 siege tanks down here for Olive. And how many siege tanks are there for Maru? 0. Army value 48 to 38. Repairing the orbital is of the utmost importance here for Maru. He needs to keep that alive. Marines do get cleaned out on the other side of the map. It's 33 workers down. Woo, for Olive here. It's 39 to 35 workers. Maru has a bit of a lead, but his natural base is directly under fire. He has to constantly replace it. The 3rd base lands for Olive, and Maru is in a tough spot right now. He has to lift his natural base. He doesn't have a 2nd base anymore. Obviously, he doesn't have a 3rd base. We can see that on the mini-map too. And Maru just got busted back down to 1 base while Olive has 3. And he goes home. And Olive's like, good enough, lads. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's going to make Maru think he's going home. Why would you back out there? I'm really confused by that decision. Maybe he's giving some time for the medevacs to heal up. Is this base exist? He's like, no? Holy crap, he doesn't have his third base, and I do. That's massive. Okay, so now there's 2 tanks from Maru and a Liberator and 3 tanks from Maru. I think Olive sets up here, denies that natural base for longer, and has a pretty good day. But he pulls back. The drop up's back here for Maru. Upgrades are 1-1. They've both got stim. They've both got combat shield. And defender's advantage here. The fact that the barracks are here for Olive. He's able to get them to the battle a lot faster than Maru is. He can't even bring anything to the battle. Because it's a drop. This Liberator, man, causing problems. That's what I'm talking about. Liberators sniping siege tanks. Dropping on the 3rd base. Enough Marines to kill this siege tank before they die. And the answer is yes. But all the Marines go down, unfortunately. Unloading inside the main base of Maru. Siege tanks again in defender mode. Defender circles here from Maru, and just barely getting out of the circle. It's a 6-kill Liberator here. This game is bonkers. And Maru holds on. It's still a 2-base versus a 3-base scenario here. Income. Oh, do we have the income? We do. Has been heavily favoring Oliveira, but went up to Maru's side and is creeping back down into Olive's side. Maru's trying to retake his 3rd base. Does he really have enough to defend it? No. No, he doesn't. He's got like a handful of Marines. I guess most of the army's down here. Trying to be on the offensive. Trying to take a sneaky way across the map that Olive's not going to expect, but Olive's coming up that left side again. Up to this 3rd base, just like he did initially with his first push. And he's going to get in here and force another liftoff. Easy P is going to kill it. 3rd base down. Maru says, well, what if I kill your 3rd base? Ah. 1 siege tank defending for Maru. Oh, that SCV massacre is big. Plus the tank dies. Plus, what is here? What is it a base race? I don't think it is. There's enough. Again, defender's advantage. This Liberator is having a field day, but it doesn't matter. Olive takes game number 3. Destroying the economy of Maru, shutting down his 2nd base, killing it. Yep, you kind of lost your 3rd, but it doesn't matter because your ability to kill the natural base of Olive is pretty low. Defender's advantage, income advantage, army value 63 to 41, and Maru's like, wow, okay, let's tap out there and we'll live to fight another day. 13,000 resources lost for Maru, 8,000 for Olive. This is what we're talking about. Resources lost are always a major indicator of who won or lost a game. 58 SCVs died from Maru. 58 exactly died from Olive, too. So we had actually did a better job making SCVs in this game because they both had, because there were just more from Olive here at the end of the match. Both players lost some tanks. 8 down from Maru, 4 down from Olive. Had 1 remaining at the end of the game. Maru maybe relied a little bit too heavily on siege tanks. Like I said, it's tricky to know exactly how much, like how many tanks to make. It's tough. It's tricky, it is. But man, so Olive, against all odds, Aligulac had Olive's chances of winning this series at about a 4% chance in a best of 7 against Maru. He's up 2-1 now. And it's still, I don't know, we're still talking Maru. We're still talking Olive, who's never won a premier tournament in his entire life, who's been a very good player. But compared to the elite players, very good players are just a notch down. They are. It's fair to say. Let's move into game number 3, shall we? Oh, wait, 3? 4, shall we? I can count, I promise. We're on Babylon for game number 4. Bottom right, Oliveira, and we've got Maru top left. Just like the last game. Let's check out Babylon real quick. Also, you can support me on patreon.com/Falcon Paladin for as little as $1 a month. You can also do $1 a year if you want. Annual pledges are available. And you can pledge whatever you want. $1, $2, $2.13, $50, $100, whatever you want. Patreon is nice that way. And if you don't want to support me on Patreon, you can do it here on YouTube by clicking the join button and becoming a member of the channel for as little as $2 a month. And again, incrementing up from that. You get access to new emojis that other people don't have as a member of the channel. And if you just want to support me with a one-time donation, falconpaladin@gmail.com at PayPal is a good way to do it, or just hitting the thanks button down below. You can do it from anywhere, from any country in the world. I feel like, as long as the thanks button is there. Very cool. All right, so is this a long-lost Protoss relic covered in leaves and bushes and stuff? Interesting. All right, so Babylon. Gold bases. Do we have a gold base here? No, no, no. And no Zelda watchtowers. They've got destructible rocks all over the place. But other than that, a fairly standard map. I do like the red everywhere. It reminds me of a desert map. And maybe it is officially a desert map. I don't know. All right, so got a Reaper here from Maru, a Reaper here from Oliveira. I think that's how you pronounce that again. Woof. And again, I don't think we're going to name Reapers if they're just going to sit at home and be babies. I get it. I get that's the meta, but be adventurous. Move out. Be cool. Factory on the way. Nothing crazy. Factory on the way. Probably a starport. 111 opening. Ooh, nice little Reaper hop-up spot. 2 levels and down. Reaper checking for proxies, saying maybe Olive's going to try to proxy me. Now that he's up 2-1, he can kind of afford to be super aggressive like that. And Olive's like, nah. Absolutely not. I am not brave enough to try to proxy Maru, the great Maru at this point. Not even close. Like I said, Reapers staying home. As they do. What's going on? The Last of Us continues to be awesome, man. Whew. The most recent episode, I was kind of worried that they would change a major aspect of the story just because they've kind of been doing that with certain things. And I listened to a podcast with the showrunners, and they said, you know, we want to change some things up because we don't want the game players to know exactly what's happening every second of every beat of the story, right? And I get that, but yeah, they didn't. They didn't change the storyline that I really didn't want them to change. That was one. And I think there's one more story beat that I need them to keep the same. And I'm worried about them changing, but I have faith that they'll keep it because it's so important emotionally. But anyway, it's great. Like, The Last of Us, man. I am so happy it's being adapted as well as it is. I always said The Last of Us could be adapted more easily than most games because it is set up in such a storytelling structure. It's got chapters, for heaven's sakes. Like, it's got, here is an episode of TV. You can tell the person as they're playing the game and looking for ways to write their script for the TV show, you know? Anyway, bam, tank out, medevac out. Cool stuff. On the other side, a Cyclone from Oliveira. Starport gonna make, it feels like a Raven to me. Oliveira's been pretty happy about the Raven. The recent changes to the Raven made them cheaper and they build faster, which is awesome, but also the auto turret has been nerfed and the anti-armor missile has been nerfed. So it's like you can get them out faster and they're cheaper to make, but they're worse in every other possible way. I don't get it. I actually think they have less HP than they normally do too. So the change to the Raven, I don't understand it. It almost feels like a change just for the sake of change. Oh, Oliveira is just running on up here with 3 Reapers. Okay, gonna cause some major problems with the old SCV count. 3 SCVs die real fast, the ones on gas especially. And all these Reapers are gonna die, but 7 SCVs go down at a stage of the game where you don't want to lose 7 SCVs. It's 32 to 25 workers. The income is boosting, well, it should be boosting up or down, there you go, towards Oliveira with the loss of those SCVs. Both players have an orbital command. It's 34 to 27 workers now. Oliveira has a pretty decent worker advantage here at, again, the 4-minute mark. Tech labbing up his starport here. He's got 2 Vikings out. Got a Cyclone. Again, the compositions are so weird. Ooh, good snipe on that Hellion. Sick. We could get some mineral line harass with these Vikings. They do bonus damage versus mechanical units, which SCVs are. That would be massive. That'd be a big deal. Third base coming in from Maru. Okay, again, maybe a little bit greedy, but also maybe exactly what you need here because you're down in the worker count. You got to do something to catch back up, and Oliveira is not missing SCV cycles, it seems. Well, maybe this one. I don't know. Maybe he's happy. Maybe he's happy with his worker count on 2 bases. He doesn't really need any more. Nope, he just fired some more up. Okay. This Reaper pops in to... Oh! And actually was surrounded there a little bit. SCVs are repairing each other. Siege tank, come kill this. Or Cyclone, even better at it, honestly. There you go. Dead. Super dead. Army value is 32 to 27 in favor of Olive. It's 42 to 39 on the worker count. And again, Maru having a third base up way before Olive does not bode well for the Chinese Terran player. But he's moving out. We're at 6 minutes. Let's go. Let's go. 3 siege tanks, 5 Marines, a Cyclone, a Raven, and 3 Vikings. Is there any such thing as a standard move out early composition in TVT? You're not going to get battle cruisers. You're probably not going to get Thors because they take too long to build, but like, feels like everything else is on the board. Man, Olive is just being aggressive today. Okay, another tank pops out here from Maru. Interference matrix on one of the tanks of Olive right now. SCVs have to come in to try to deal with this. The Vikings are landing to provide additional DPS, and Olive! What is even going on here today? Olive goes up 3-2-1 on Maru, on a 30-minute Maru, who after game 1 looked like he was going to win this series in about 26 minutes. And instead, after 26 minutes, Olive is up 3-1. Are we even at 26 minutes at this point? I don't know. These games have been short and intense. Again, he just keeps showing up with enough stuff to where Maru dies. He shows up with 3 tanks. Maru only has 2. He shows up with a superior Viking count. Maru has 1. And there are 4 here from Olive. So you win. Actually, no, there's 2 here from Maru. But you're still outnumbered. So you win the sky battle. Your siege tanks are target firing enemy siege tanks. And that's it. You're done. After that battle, there are no army units left for Maru. Resources lost 3,800 from Maru and 1,900 from Olive. Bonkers. Plus, he killed more workers. So he has another worker advantage. Olive does. It just feels like he's showing up at kind of weird times with weird compositions. At least this one was very strange. And Maru just wasn't ready for it. Like, Olive has these timing attacks and different builds and different ways of doing it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how this is happening. I'm blown away. I think everybody who watched this live was also blown away, and I bet you're blown away too. Man. So let's move into game number 5. It's match point. If Olive wins one more game, then Maru goes home, having never won a world championship. He'll have another chance next year, but crazy. I don't know how else to say it. It's crazy. It's Ancient Cistern. Top right, going to be Olive. Bottom left, going to be Maru. Now look, lest you think that Olive is just good at TVT, he defeated elite Zerg players and elite Protoss players on his way to this final, which you have to do in a world championship. There is no fluke that he is here, and he's showing it. I'm just flabbergasted by this 3-1 result here. Maybe Maru can pull off 3 games in a row here against Olive, but based on the first 4 games, I don't have very much hope of that. All right, Maru, time to buckle down. No proxies, no shenanigans. This is Ancient Cistern. How does this map look? A ton of places to expand. Holy cow. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7. Basically 7 on your side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So 7 and 7 is a lot for maps in StarCraft 2 these days. You got double rocks and knockdown for more direct route to your enemy's base. That's more to kind of deal with Ling rush timings. Just kind of make the Lings go the long way around, just to kind of slow them down a tiny bit. SCV is going for the scout. They both respect each other way too much now to not get the SCV scout off. You don't want to be the one who is unaware of the enemy's proxy and lose a game in the World Championship final round, right? Got a taste-a-lope on this map. Very nice stuff. Last time we saw one of those was on Waterfall, I think. Very cool stuff. I do think they're programmed to run away from battles, because every time a battle is near them, they hoof it. Oh, almost blocked the expansion timing there for Olive, did Maru's SCV. Doesn't even thinking about messing with it here. And actually, Maru decides, so Maru scouts the very fast expand here from Olive and says, I'm going to go for a factory here. I'm going to try to one base crush this noob who thinks he can expand against me, and I'm worried if I'm Oliveira, honestly. What do we got? I actually have, I think she's my niece. Yeah, a niece in my family's name is Olive. So, for me, it's not that weird of a name. I kind of feel like it's a fairly unique name. Bunker coming up from Oliveira, being like, all right, well, the expansion timing for Maru is a little bit late. He's going to try to send something at me, and having a bunker is going to be real nice. As Maru's second base is coming up, but the second base of Olive's is like 90% complete. So, yeah, bunker up, getting a factory, getting a second, getting a second gas here too. I like these little tiles in the main base. They look like Tetris, kind of. Everything's Tetris except for these little individual blocks, which is not a Tetris thing. How different would Tetris be if there were individual single blocks you had to play with? It'd be easy. Like, you can always find a spot for a single square. I guess that would make Tetris way too easy to be fun, right? That's why they don't have them. Game design. If Maru doesn't get some pressure up here soon, I kind of feel like Olive got away with an early expand, and he's not being punished for it. Yeah, the Hellion can't bust in here because there's a bunker that you have to worry about. There is another Hellion you have to worry about doing bonus damage to you like you're doing bonus damage to it. Medevac Marines tank in production here from Maru too. Army value 12 to 11. Second base of Maru's is up and upgrading to an orbital command. But yeah, huge shout out and thanks to everyone who's a member of the channel or a patron of the channel. I love you all. I really do appreciate the support you give me that way. And if you want to support me without money, that's easy to do too. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'm here 5 times a week or more with StarCraft 2. It's awesome. I've been casting StarCraft 2 since 2015. I love it. And we're going to keep doing it until, I don't know, until the end of time. Siege tank, oh my gosh, that siege tank timing. There have been a couple situations in this game where siege tank pops out exactly when it's needed. Yeah, that Viking says, Medevac, get out. And Maru's attempt to get some damage done on Olive gets completely shut down. Insane. Like, Olive is just rebuffing everything that Maru's trying to do. Maru's had some success with aggression here, but not really enough to make a difference to get the win. Yeah, see how the Artosa Lopes kind of running away from these Marines? I mean, into a bunker, but whatever. Marine comes in and says, oh, you just have a siege tank. Okay, so here's the aggression. Your bunker's under direct attack, but it's 2 tanks to 1 tank. And Maru's like, oh, no, he's got 2 tanks. But he can't bust in there because Olive's ready for it. And Maru's pulling back home. He's got a 3rd base. That might have just been him making sure that Olive doesn't move out and kill his 3rd base. Pushing an attack up on your enemy like that is a good way to make them feel like they can't move out on the map themselves. It's good. Again, Maru's a genius. He's so smart. I love this 1 Hellion drop. It's like, really? What are we doing exactly here? I guess scouting in. He sees the 3rd base coming up from Olive. That's a good scout. Says, okay, Olive's not sitting on 2 bases. Gonna come and try to kill me here. At least, well, he is gonna try and come kill me. This is kind of what happened in the last game, where Olive had a 3rd base later than Maru's. But Olive moved out while his 3rd base was under construction and just kind of had an army value advantage and has 3 tanks and has Vikings and Ravens and Marines, and Maru overextended a little bit again. This is so weird. Yeah, we'll sacrifice a Marine to your Cyclone lock-on. That's way better than a tank or a Viking or a Raven. Okay, so 3 tanks defending here from Maru. He's okay. So he scans in, sees, okay, 3 tanks. Let's back it out a little bit. That's Cyclone, man. Just getting Marine kills. Ooh, couldn't finish off that, buddy. Couldn't finish it off. And trying to come around the right side. Again, a Raven dying would be big here. So he sieges the tanks. Maru says, you really can't get much closer because my tanks are sieged now, buddy. We got our first kind of real tank line of the series in game 5, which is nuts. Oh, he can actually hit that? Okay, so that tank can barely hit the 3rd base of Maru with a scan, with the vision, right? So the sky here kind of belongs to Olive, which is a big deal, although losing a Raven to a Cyclone would suck. Okay. Does manage to stay alive with all of 40 HP. Auto turrets tossed down. Olive tries going for it. I don't know if this is the right idea. It's absolute chaos. SCVs come to pull in again. I think Maru's going to hold against this one. That was not a great choice by Olive. He loses like 2 of his siege tanks, both his Ravens. I don't know. Okay, the siege tank is getting free hits off. The Vikings are doing bonus damage versus siege tanks, but they're pretty tanky because they're tanks. Does kill 10 SCVs, but Maru holds. Okay, that was huge. That was huge that he did that. Third base is going to land here from Olive. Maru's third base still up and running. A little bit worse for the wear, but still operating at 100% efficiency. I was going to say capacity. That's also true. 1-1 coming in from Olive. Maru is working on upgrades too. No? He doesn't have engineering bays? He does. They are right here. And he already has 1-1. So what am I worried about? It's Maru we're talking about. Cool. So he has a 1-1 upgrade. Any mech upgrades to speak of? No. Siege tanks need no upgrades. It's 39 to 32 army supply. Maru is up and about even on worker count. So Maru holding that attack was massive. His economy, he went for the early third, wasn't punished for it, really. I mean, losing 10 SCVs sucks, but he's still ahead after all of those shenanigans. Gets his tank sieged up. He's going to take down that bunker, try to wipe out a couple of the, at least bruise the defensive tanks here from Olive. Vikings, let's get it, man. Yeah, Olive's got the air superiority here. Maru backs out because he can't deal, he doesn't want to lose these medevacs for nothing, as the Vikings will surely take it out. A 4th command center on the way from Olive. Is Maru getting a 4th of his own? No. No, he is not. Oh, landing, killing one of the tanks with his Vikings. Oh, that's so good. High ground belongs to Olive here, though. Oliveira says, nope. You can't come in. And Maru doesn't go home all the way. Just kind of backs out to his own high ground position, which this map is really good for. On Ancient Cistern. Yeah, we got a new map pool, and we got a new balance patch before the World Championships. So weird. And maybe that contributes a little bit to why time is here in Oliveira, but because this balance patch still hasn't been quite worked out. The new maps haven't been entirely figured out either. So maybe it was time for kind of an unknown. Not an unknown. Times have been around forever. Anyway. Siege tanks up, and this is Maru going for it. If he can kill this third base, he is right on top of those tanks of Olive. He kills 2 of them. 1 remains. 4 tanks back here from Maru. Sieging up. Olive on the other side manages to sneak some Marines down. Trying to pick off as many of these SCVs as he can, forcing a liftoff on that orbital. Some Marines are trying to fight, but there's medevacs here. That was a not even close battle. Third base lives for Olive. Third base for Maru not living. He is... Wait, was that 4th base there the whole time? I don't know. There was a 4th base for Maru, because of course there was, and Maru shoves it away. Okay, 16 SCVs die. A total of 9 SCVs have died from Oliveira, and 26 have gone down from Maru. Income hugely favoring Oliveira with the lifting of that and the evacuation of that third base. 4th base getting a big transfer of SCVs over to it. Oliveira starting his own 4th base, a little bit behind here. Can Maru win this game and continue the battle? That's the question. Yeah, I mean, this has been a truly insane TVT series. I think Maru, he's ahead in this game. He's looking pretty good. He's got a bigger army. He's even on worker count. His 4th base was up faster. It's a planetary with a siege tank. I don't know that Olive can break that, especially not with 2 more siege tanks and another command center coming up. So this might be our first true macro TVT of the entire series. The first 4 games were none of that. 0% macro games. I mean, no one even tried to get a 4th base, I don't think, in the first 4 matches. Upgrade advantage. Currently, nothing. No upgrade advantage. Upgrades are even across the board here. Marines stutter stepping in. Maru bringing some tanks over, though, and trying to bust in and kill those tanks. Olive getting a pretty nice concave, taking some huge tank shots, though. Not really able to get his own massive tank shots off. Maru doesn't like it. He's lost most of his Marines. He's going to pull back just a little bit. I mean, same story for Olive. He's got a bunch of tanks and not that many Marines left over. So, I mean, it's 11 to 20. Marine count, 85 have died for Olive. 94 have gone down for Maru. Both players are working on +3 attack, +3 infantry armor on the way from Oliveira, and +2 vehicle weapons coming in now, too, on both sides of the map here. Although Maru's is ahead, because he's been ahead in this game. But TVT could be a cruel mistress, solely because you mess up once. You walk into an enemy tank line you didn't know was there. You drop in a position you thought was safe, lose everything. That kind of stuff can really lose you a TVT. Terran fans, especially at the lower leagues, the Diamond, the Platinum level, really hate TVT for that reason. Just all about positioning, all about scouting, all about knowing where the enemy is and how to engage with them perfectly. And if you don't do it, you just die. So Maru, maxed out, 183 supply here. Making a move on that third base of Olive again. Tank count belongs to Maru right now. Upgrade advantage. Nobody. It's still just a +1 attack on these siege tanks. Maru boosting up the left side. Going to unload in a position where he's getting more direct fire on that orbital. They're going to be able to kill it pretty quickly. Oliveira is going to take down Maru's attempt at a 5th base, but this is the battle that really matters right now. Vikings, again, Oliveira consistently owning the skies here. Get rid of all of the tanks here on the high ground. I mean, well, this is also high ground, but on the left side and on the bottom side, Maru has to back it out again. Oliveira taking positions that Maru feels like he can win, and Oliveira is just handling it. He's remaining cool, calm, collected, not making any major mistakes of his own. He's a little bit behind on the economy, yes, but killing that 5th base was a big deal. That was a nice pickup, especially because he's got his own command centers for 5th base too. So it's 94 to 96 army supply. Infantry weapons level 3 is finishing up for Olive. He's got that advantage to his side of things right now. But plus, I mean, that's all he's got really, is +3 infantry attack. What's the Viking count? 6 to 3. So again, Oliveira really leaning heavily on these siege tanks to win these battles. And this is more traditional. This is traditional TVT mid-game, right? Marine, siege tanks, medevacs, and Vikings. That's pretty much the play. Maybe some Liberators. Bringing some Ravens in for anti-armor missile is also something we see quite a bit. But maybe with the nerf to the anti-armor missile, we're not going to see Ravens as much at this stage of the game. Could be intriguing, if you ask me. Constant scanning all over the place. Maru busts up a ramp and says, never mind. There are like 6 tanks up there. Oh, but Maru gets the first kills. First hits allows him to get the first kills there. Oliveira still going to land his command center up here. He's got the high ground, Anakin. That's what matters. Okay, so both players are now adding Ravens into the mix. A fusion core coming in from Oliveira. Are battle cruisers any good in the current meta of TVT with this latest balance patch? I don't know. Are we going to find out? Maybe. Building armor, high-sec auto tracking, getting started by Maru at the same time. He says, okay, we're into the late game now. We're at 15 minutes in this TVT. We're both maxed out. We're both developing kind of banks. At least I am. Oliveira, not so much. And this is where Maru has really proved to be terrifying. Late game Maru in all 3 matchups. It's so tough to take him down. He's trying to marine bomb these siege tanks. It's kind of working. He takes down, oh, he gets all 3 of the tanks. That was awesome, actually. Neat. 3 Marines even survived the battle. And by that, I mean they decided to come back on in. And try to do more damage. You guys are very brave. You know that, right? Another attempt to come up a ramp is rebuffed by Oliveira while I was busy laughing at those Marines dying. Lol. Advanced ballistics on the way from Oliveira. So that is not going to be battle cruisers, at least not right now. This game is not over. We could maybe see them. Maru taking a 6th base down at the 6 o'clock position, which seems Seems right. Seems the right way to do it. Maru has more workers, but Oliveira has a bigger army, which at this stage of the game seems like where you want to be. Income tab is barely favoring Maru, but in a direct engagement, having an extra, 20 supply on your enemy seems like it would be nice. Knocking down these rocks just for easier access, just so you can come across this high ground without having to go down to the low ground and up to the high ground again. Maru's expanding again because, well, it's this stage of the game. It's past 15 minutes. I gotta be making command centers constantly, as he's making 2 more. Now he does cancel this one because being able to hold it when an army is perked right here, not going to work out for you. I said perked. Cross between parked and perched. Anti-armor missile does go down on both sides. It reduces armor by 2 instead of 3. But in a TVT, nobody really gets any advantage from that. You're both still getting debuffed at the exact same rates. Liberators, I do like Liberators adding. Maru had good success with Liberators in one of these previous games, and now it's Oliveira who's using them pretty effectively. Anti-armor missile goes down again. We are Cheeto dusted. Liberators pushing on this base, and this is some Maru's not really able to shove this back. I mean, the anti-armor missile is up. Siege tank gonna die. My gosh, 2 siege tanks died to Liberator fire. Another one goes down. Oh wow, tank count is 12-3 in favor of Oliveira. What is even going on here? This third base is sure to die. Maru can't defend that. Anti-armor missile does Cheeto dust a bunch of these Marines, but they took down a base. They killed 6 more SCVs. What is able to defend down this right side? Not much. I don't know if Oliveira is going to continue his rampage of death down that direction or what. He's just happy killing 1 base, I think, is the idea. Income is creeping up in favor of Oliveira with the death of that base and the death of 8 SCVs, 9 SCVs recently. Viking count for Maru is big, but the Marines on the ground have 3-3, and they do not want to mess with you guys. I mean, you don't want to mess with them, I think is what I meant to say. He's got even idle SCVs over here. Viking battles, trying to keep his Marines on the high ground, but he just can't. I don't think he wants to attack that planetary with Marines, and he doesn't. Siege tanks firing on it. Liberator gets picked off. That's big, but SCVs, a planetary goes down. More SCVs are dying. 48 SCVs have gone down so far. The income tab is really heavily in Oliveira's favor now. Orbital tries to replace the planetary when Oliveira's army is sitting there. What was that play? Bottom right base by Maru is running, but it seems like it's pretty ripe for the picking, at least until it turns into a planetary fortress. Interference Matrix disables 2 of the tanks of Oliveira. It is 14-6 on the tank count advantage. Not as much as it was for Oliveira. He gets a drop into the main base of Maru. 2 siege tanks siege up to try to defend this okay, yeah, reload. Get out of there, and he does know there's a planetary here. Oliveira expanding himself while this chaos is going, and he's taken 2 new bases during this offensive, and he's just kind of picking Maru apart here in a way that nobody saw coming. It's still even on supply. Maru's got a bigger army at this stage of the game, but this income tab is not lying. It is skyrocketing up toward Oliveira's side of things. Maru says, I might need to end this thing now. These bases are dying, and I don't know if I can't save them. Planetary dead. These SCVs are going to return the minerals into tank fire as they do. Anti-armor missile top down. Tossed down. Interference Matrix. Beautiful spell casting here from Maru. But the high ground belongs to Oliveira. I don't know. Maru encroaching up on that high ground. And then pulling back, conceding that to Oliveira. Maru has retaken his 3rd. He's still got these expansions up the left side, but he hasn't killed a base of Oliveira's at all. Viking count. It's currently 8-5. Upgrades look pretty even there too, but Oliveira wins it. He wins the air battle. Can he bring some Liberators in now is the question. I don't think he has any left. He's making 4 at a time though. He knows Liberators are going to be good now that those Vikings are dead. Okay, Maru says, I'm going to bust up. I'm going to kill your 3rd base in, in revenge. There it is, forcing the liftoff. SCVs go transfer somewhere else. It's okay. There are bases that are not fully saturated here. Maru continuing to push up very slowly, very steadily as well. Siege tanks, everyone's got the same upgrades, man. It is +3 on those siege tanks on the attack and +1 on the armor. Maru is, maybe he decided he's done enough. He's expanding top left. He did lose 2 bases. I guess this one, if you want to count that as a 3rd base, Daddy's replacing that, though, right now. Another base coming up. Double base coming up from Oliveira. This top left base of Maru's is a little bit cheeky at this stage. He can't really defend it, but he's going to get away with it as long as he can. 186 to 177 supply. Have I said hit that like button yet? This has been an insane TVT finals. Maru poking up, knows Oliveira has a base here. Might try to wipe that out. That would be big. That would be a massive, massive thing for Maru to accomplish here. And Oliveira is just like, I'm just going. What the heck? This is so daring. Just going right into Maru's base. What in the name of Fergus McDoodson? This is such a absolutely gutsy move from him. He's sitting on top of Maru's production. Tanks come out, die. Marines come out, they die. Maru's trying to get here, but his tanks are... The enemy tanks are high grounded, but they're also disabled, which is nice. Anti-armor missile there. His interference matrix going to wear off in time. For Oliveira, not really, no. And Maru says, get out of my main base, you crazy person. But it is 87 to 67 army supply. Oliveira's been able to produce more easily, just a small time. Oliveira's armor was sitting here. Tanks were dying. Marines were dying. Taking the high ground is hard to do. This right base of Oliveira's does die, yes. This is Oliveira scouting that Maru has a base in the top left, which is hilarious. Maru muling up. He's down 160 to 111 supply. I cannot believe what I'm seeing here. This base is going to die for Maru, but again, it was just kind of a whatever we can get from it base. It wasn't something he was really planning on defending super well, obviously. Woo, high-sec auto-tracking and building armor coming in from Oliveira at 24 minutes. I think Maru's had that for like 10 or 15 already. 102 to 82 army supply. Oliveira has the better economy. Oliveira lost some economy there, losing that right side base, but it's coming back. Oh, look, the Atastolop and the Artosolope are friends. Look at them hanging out. Speaking of which, did you notice they were casting at KATOWICE? First time they've been back to casting StarCraft 2 in a while. I missed them. I missed Tastosis a lot. I wish they could cast more together. But, you know, it was just nice hearing them anyway. They've been doing just Brood War for, months now. I don't know. I have no idea how long anything's been going on. A year? Maybe 2 years? You could tell me 2 years. I'd believe it. Is that true? No idea. None. But they're back. At least they were back for KATOWICE, which is fantastic. 123 to 105 army supply. I don't know if this bodes well for Maru. Oh, jumping on you, siege tanks. Oh no, target firing. Liberator count is insane. You can't kill them all. The tanks are dying. 74 to 30 army supply. Maru's in so much trouble. GG, and Oliveira is your unlikely winner of KATOWICE StarCraft 2 World Championship 2023. He 4-1s Maru in an insane upset that nobody saw coming. Nobody who in their right mind would ever pick a Chinese player time to defeat Maru in a 7-game series in 5 total games. Nobody. Nobody. That's who. I'm just speechless. I don't even... That was crazy. That was an insane result. Now look, here's the thing. If Oliveira here had been playing super well all of 2022, he'd won a couple of premier tournaments, right? He'd made his mark on the map as somebody you got to watch out for at that elite level before he comes to Katowice and does this. Everybody would have said, okay, nice. What a great 12 months for Oliveira. But he was the same person he's always been. He was okay. He was, 30, 35th, something 20th, 25th in a Ligielac. He was winning some games against elite talent. He was losing more games against elite talent. He wasn't winning any ESL Premier Championships. He's about 6.6k MMR on the Korean server, which again is really, 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 really good, but not elite. And then he comes in and does this. He has to go through some elite talent to get here, and then he takes down some of the most elite talent we've ever seen and just looks really solid doing it. I don't know. This is the biggest upset in the history of StarCraft 2. It is. It is. I don't know how else to explain it. For this guy to come in and do this. Bonkers. So we'll see if he continues it, right? We'll see if he keeps up this level. Is he still going to be at elite status? Or is he going to kind of fall off? Like Scarlet and Neeb are two players who won super, super heavy elite status premier tournaments against the best talent in the world. And then just never really did it again. Never really came close. That could be our guy. Or is he a new Rainer and a new Cyril? Somebody who got to the top of the mountain and has stayed there. Has stayed with a group of 10. The elite players. Maybe even 5 or 6 or 7. And just never fallen off. Is Oliveira going to stay there? Or is this was more of a fluke for them? We don't know. And that's what's fun about it. But, I mean, so fun. I mean, this was so much more fun than if Maru just 4-0s him in the final. Yeah? Oh. And he won in a macro game, too. I mean, if all 4 of his wins had been kind of like 5, 6, 7, 8-minute timing attacks, and he beats Maru that way, then it's like, that was just some weird cheesy timing that the new balance patch Maru hadn't quite figured out. It was fluky, but for him to do a 25-minute macro win against Maru is nuts. That just proves that initial theory wrong. He can hang with Maru in a macro game and beat him, which I guess he's always been able to do. I don't know, man. So end of the day, resources lost 53,000 for Maru, 43,000 for Oliveira here in game 5. 2 orbitals, 2 command centers, and 2 planetaries died for Maru. That's huge. He did kill 2 command centers and a planetary, but the numbers don't add up. 97 SCVs died to 27 SCVs for Oliveira. So good. Like, I mean, we didn't get battle cruisers. We didn't get nukes, which would have turned this into like one of the greatest TVT finals of all time. But I don't think we can ask for much more than an insanely fun series of games with an insanely crazy upset. Can't ask for more. So GG. GG time / Oliveira. Awesome stuff. He thought about quitting StarCraft, and his dad said, don't do it. You're always number 1 in my heart. And now look where he is today. So good. All right, cool. So that is going to be it for me today, though. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void, and a series. It's not going to be posted on Sunday because it was too good to wait for Sunday. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook as I sneeze, Patreon and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.